Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of Classic City Talks with Classic City Locks. We're your hosts. I'm Mike,
I'm Wes.
and y'all, we had another really good week. We are trending upward. Hope that y'all are riding with us because we are in a good spot. 3-1-1 last week. We got some great picks lined up for y'all this week. A fun slate. Wes, why don't you walk us through how we did last week?
Yeah, so we were positive for the third week in a row. You would make money if you bet on us, which we're slowly making up for. LSU covered 3.5 easily at Missouri. Michigan pounded Minnesota to cover 18.5. Alabama, Texas A&M over 46 was a push, and it had 12 points taken off the board. There were two
Brutal.
touchdowns scored that were called back. That's absolutely brutal. And then Arkansas plus 11.5 covered at Ole Miss, like we told you they would. And of course, my super dog of the week, Louisville, beat Notre Dame. Mike had their spread, and that was
The
unfortunately our only
collapse.
miss last week.
Collapse of the century. Notre Dame, pack it up. The season is over. So disappointing.
How about that? The first time we do that segment, and it's already a success.
I know.
That's
It's
all
kind
I
of
needed
crazy.
to pull me out from the depths of wherever I was with my pick 'em. But welcome in. We're happy to have you here. Let's get right into our picks, Mike.
Yeah, I real quick, my super dog Marshall, I actually forgot to check. I know that they lost, but they kept it close for a bit. Um, you know, can't win them all. We're learning this super dog thing. They lost by it was 48-41. So
While you talk about that, actually, we had two suggestions for our punishment. So if Mike and I decide that those two are good enough, we will do either a beer mile, which I'm not going to get into. We'll discuss the rules of
yeah.
that ourselves, or dump a jar of Cool Whip on our heads. Mike
All
might
right.
veto that one because he's a little lame about dumping stuff on himself, but continue to send us those ideas.
Yeah.
We thought of something great. It's not too late, so keep commenting. We love to see it. Who have we got this week?
Yeah, so we have three consensus picks, and then Wes and I have our personals, and we'll do our super dog segment. So the first pick that we have going right back to the bread and butter, that Bama over. Arkansas goes to play Alabama. The over is set at 46.5 again. It was 46 last week, pushed. Week before that's 46.5, and it hit. Uh,
Yeah,
believe it or not, Arkansas, four straight losses. Start out 2-0, and they've just lost four in a row, but they
brutal.
score at least 20 points a game. You can that's the floor. You're gonna get that out of them. We know KJ Jefferson can move the ball. The question is, can he protect the ball enough in this game to get them on the board for a bit? I think that they can. I hate to use this as an argument, but like they're due at some point. I'm not saying they're going to win, but that we know he's a competent quarterback. This team on paper does not look good right now, but we know they can score, and it's a given. We know Alabama's going to score. They're slowly getting better. They beat a good Texas A&M team on the road last week.
They're playing murder
Comfortable.
ball.
Yeah, that was a brutal game.
Yeah, that one wasn't exactly murder ball, but I expect this one to be.
Yes,
See this one getting to like a 35-14 kind of a score. So
definitely. Totally
love
see
this
that.
over. And we'll move on to our second pick of the week. Right back to the bread and butter again, Michigan.
Yeah.
They are featured in our picks many times. But we're taking the over actually in the Indiana Michigan game, over 44.5. I mean, this is a great one. Michigan could put up 44 points themselves. I'm
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Indiana, a little bit tougher of an opponent, I think, than Minnesota. They're about the same, but I mean, like if you look at the score of that game, I'm thinking this line is a little bit too low. We love our overs in with Bama and now Michigan. So
Yeah. Michigan's offense is starting to click. Indiana is not going to win this game, but they are coming off a bye. And they played Maryland on September 30th, and Maryland put up 44 on them. I think that we're going to see Michigan get cooking early. If the Hoosiers tack on a touchdown or two in garbage time, this line is too low.
yeah, I mean, the beginning of the season, these games, Michigan games, were like 30-6, thirty to
Yeah.
seven, 31. But lately, their last two in Big Ten play have been 45-7 and 52-10. So I like this one to get up above 44.5.
Absolutely. And our last pick, keeping the ball rolling with another one of our bread and butter teams, not the same line. Penn State plays the lowly UMass. What are they, the
Mm.
Minutemen or something like that? I don't know. Uh, the under 57.5 is what we're going to take. That line is huge. We know Penn State can score. They have a great defense. But this could be a look ahead week for them. They're going to win this game easily. But when you're playing Ohio State next week and you have a real chance of winning that game, are you going to leave the starters out as long when you're up 30 points?
Yeah, I'm thinking they come out. You don't really want to risk Drew Aller, going down with a late injury against
Yeah.
somebody you're favored by like 40 against. UMass's mascot, Sam the Minuteman.
Oh, I was close.
Look up a picture of him, kids. He's something.
Yeah.
But I agree with everything you just said. Penn State, they're going to demolish them, but if this was at 57.5, we wanted it there, but fortunately too late recording this video to get that, but we still like it at 54.5.
Yeah.
I just see this as like a 50-0 kind of game, maybe a 51 to 3. So
Yeah. And we've seen Drew Aller as a game manager as well. Like he can ball out, but when he needs to, he can control the game and slow things down. So that's a
yeah,
good.
exactly. Mike,
Um,
what is your pick of the week this week?
my pick of the week. I'm going to go in a what should be an undefeated versus undefeated ACC matchup, but it's not because of one of the worst calls in history. Miami, after a heartbreaking defeat versus Georgia Tech, goes to take on UNC. UNC favored by 3.5 here. I at first was a little concerned about this one, but I'm just going to stick with my gut here. I'm going to take UNC to cover 3.5 here. Miami is good at defending the run, but UNC doesn't do that. Or they don't need to do that either. I mean, Drake May is a dog. He's going to air it out on them. I think they've won 13 out of their 17 last games at home. It's going to be a rocking environment. They're undefeated. They're also this season 3-0 against the spread when they're single-digit favorites. And I don't really Miami losing to Georgia Tech is terrible, but outside of that, I don't really know that they've played many good teams. So I don't think they've been tested by an offense like this yet. And I think they're going to get exposed here.
Texas A&M put up like 40 on them.
Yeah, that's it. Texas
That
A&M.
wasn't a good game. That wasn't a good opponent.
That was the only game on this. Everyone else has been like a garbage team. It's like a nobody.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, and UNC has a crazy good offense. So, yeah, they're going to expose Miami here again. It's just going to be another brutal week if you're a Miami fan.
I don't hate the pick. I just, Miami's either going to come out and just like play the best game of their season right here, or they're just going to, roll over and die, which I don't really expect them to do here. So that's why I'm
It's
not
not
getting
going to happen. I think UNC has been a much, more competent on defense this year. Obviously, it's nothing compared to like Michigan or Georgia or something, but I think they're more competent on defense, and their offense is just it's good. So I'm
All
going to
right.
stick with them here.
But hear me out here. Hear me out. Say that last week, Miami need the ball out and won like 23-20 or 23 to like 16. Can you say that you would have tuned into most of the game and you would still be making this pick if that one play was different?
Would I watch Miami versus UNC?
No, would you have gone into the picking this game having the mindset that Miami is bad team because they lost to Georgia Tech?
If Miami won last week 23-16, I would have the same mindset because they let one of the worst teams in the ACC almost beat them.
I know, but I'm just saying. I think that this game's a lot of people's radars because of that Georgia Tech
I
fumble.
am not going to overthink this.
Okay, doubting Mario Cristobal like a lot of other people are right now. They got the whole world against them. It's a dangerous thing.
All right, go ahead, Wes.
My pick, obviously, much better, 100% success rate on the season.
Yeah, what's the record?
So actually, hey, we're improving. Actually, we're throwing another dart at the board right here. We're going against a team that I normally love because that makes a whole lot of sense. If I'm doing bad, got to pick against my favorites. I'm going to go South Carolina to cover against Florida. I'm getting this.
Whoa, what?
What do you mean?
That's your pick? Hold on.
Yeah.
I did not hear about this in the pre-show lobby. This is a live reaction. Let's hear it. I'm just saying, I'm here for it. Let's hear it.
The line is at 2.5. I'm taking the Gamecocks. The Gators are like 1-8 in road games under Billy Napier. So apparently they're like changing their whole mentality for this game. They're like arriving a day earlier. They're emphasizing sleep.
Oh my
So they're
God.
going to be prepared for this one. And I always pick Florida because I think they're a much better team than people give them credit for. But I've been wrong about that this entire season. So South Carolina is coming off a bye as well. They're playing at home. It's going to be a good environment. I just think that the SEC East is kind of cannibalizing itself this year, or it's going to. And so I like the Gamecocks in this one to cover 2.5.
You know what? What? I'm glad that I got my live reaction there. I don't think that's a crazy bad pick at all. And that is a hilarious stat. There, I would not have believed that if you had
Yeah,
outside of
don't
the show.
don't quote me on the 1-8, but it is really
It's a
bad.
bad
It's like
record. It's a
1-7 or
bad
something
record.
like that. It is atrocious under
I
Napier. But
I think
let's
that South Carolina is an interesting team. We're like getting to the midway point of the season, and I still can't fully understand them because like we see flashes of greatness every once in a while.
Yeah, and it's like I said, they're coming off a bye week, so I feel like they're going to have a good
Yeah,
game plan ready. Florida, kind of a bye week at Vanderbilt, but they're at least their bodies are going to be a little bit more beat up
yeah.
than South Carolina's are. So we'll get into that. We're done with our picks, but our super dog of the week really quickly. I'm taking the opposite of my super dog of the week last week, and for no good reason, with no historical evidence or anything to back it up, I'm taking Pitt to beat Louisville at home.
Oh,
This line has dropped to 7.5 from 8.5, and I circled this one on like my drive home today, and then I pulled it up on my computer, and Pitt is like 1-4 this season.
that's that's what I was gonna say.
But Louisville is a 6-0 team, and I think people like don't really look at who they play. They have like the
That's
easiest
fair.
ACC schedule of like all the major ACC teams this year. So
Interesting pick. Pitt is not what it was with Mr. Pickett at the helm, but we'll see how it pans out for you.
yeah,
I have a bigger line here. I am riding with the Wyoming Cowboys over Air Force. Wyoming is 4-1.
save a horse, ride a cowboy.
Yeah, they beat Fresno State when Fresno State was favored by 24 and a half. And in the last 6 games versus Air Force, Wyoming is 4-2 straight up. They're a dynamic team. They're having fun. They only got one loss, so they're kind of, but they got 4 wins. I think they're kind of under people's radars. Beating that Fresno State team was no easy task. It's a solid squad. Air Force is weird. That triple option, scheme is interesting. But I think that Wyoming can move the ball through the air. They're going to slow them down. They're going to make this dogfight, and they're going to come out on top.
I love it. I love to hear it. There's our super dogs of the week. That's a new contest we have going on. If you don't understand, you can watch last week's
Yeah.
video. We've gone on long enough, but I want to say thank you to all of our subscribers and viewers, commenters, everybody. I saw someone that's been subscribed for over a year commenting on our post. We love you. We appreciate you, and we hope you really enjoy this week's video and everything as we continue on.